Alrighty, what is up YouTube? Today I have for you a budget deck profile. Actually, it's one of the new clans from the new set. It'll be Nubatama. Most of you guys know its VR as Magatsu Storm, but today I'll be bringing you Kujikiricongo. Kujikiricongo? Oh man, I don't even know how to pronounce it. But anyways, this is a really big budget deck, and I feel like it's one of the stronger variants between the two decks. Reason being because of hand destruction. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you my deck build real quick. It's pretty solid, it's pretty straightforward, and like I said, it's budget as well, so you probably spending no more than $30. Like me myself, I don't really spend as much as I do on the cards anyways, because there's like commons and like double R's, but like I said, $30 at most. Budget deck, really good, and it's pretty consistent too, because well, hand destruction is, it's also a new kind of direction too in the game that Protect clan like this gives to the player. So it's pretty strong. So I'll just go ahead and talk to you guys about it. So of course we have your starter, draw one on ride. We're going to grade 3s first. Your main grade 3 Shura Stealth Dragon Kujikiricongo. So basically what its effect is, once per turn, if your opponent's hand is 4 or more, you get to counterblast 1 and discard a card from their hand. And yeah, and the second skill is when your opponent's rearguard is returned from the field to their hand, they can't guard with that grade. So it's really strong, makes guarding really awkward sometimes. It makes them overguard if they have to, because you know, obviously a lot of times their board consists of 2s and 1s, so you know, you bounce back a 2 and 1 and a simple number could turn into a 15k drop, which is really dumb. So 4 of this is your main grade 3. Obviously it's not a VR, so it's not gonna break your bank. It's really good. Next up, I run 4 of the, what's that, I call it the Crow. Okay, I can't pronounce it, but it's called the Crow basically. So basically this is the second best grade 3 of the deck. Basically what it does is you Soul Blast 3 and discard 2 Sentinels. So obviously it's from your Protects or your draw PGs. You discard those 2 PGs and this unit gets 15k until end of turn. If your opponent is grade 3 or greater, return all of your opponent's rear guards from the field to their hand, and if 1 or more was returned, you make them discard 5. So that's really strong. You neg them super hard. So ideally there's a lot of cards that support this, that force them to send back to the hand first off before you make them, you know, go into this, so their board is more clear. So I'll show you the cards that support it, but as of right now, this is the grade 3 that I run, and it's a common, so it's really strong. Obviously there's no gift marker because of how strong this card is. Makes him discard 5. It's really dumb. And my backup grade 3 for that also with the gift is the Void Master. It's when it's placed, you get 3k on Vanguard, or Rearguard actually. It's a Vanguard Rearguard skill. Your opponent can intercept and counterblast 1. At the end of that battle, you get to bounce a card back. So it's really good on a Rearguard with Kujikiricongo on the Vanguard, because you bounce one of the rear guards and they can't guard with that card when your Vanguard attacks. So it's really strong. 15k attacker, so you could see with 8k boosters, that's a number, it's 23. It's really good. So now the grade 2s. Probably the only card that's actually worth some coins is the Stealth Dragon Magatsu Gale, one of the only Magatsu cards we run. Reason being because it nets you a +1. It's like a Berserk Dragon where you counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, you draw a card, and this one does get 6k, so it's 15k attacker, again, magic number with the 8k behind it. And second skill, at the end of the battle that it attacked, you put this unit into your soul and you can compulse a card from the field back to your hand. Just put it back in your hand. So it's really good. It goes back in your soul, and this deck does have a lot of soul management that you need to keep aware of, because like I said, the grade 3, for a kill turn, you need a Soul Blast 3, so at least you could refund the Soul Blast that you got from that card, the Magatsu scale, and you could put it back in the soul for your Crow over there. Next, the next supporting card for the deck is the Kujikiricongo. Basically, this would compulse a whole, I say compulse, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, basically return to the hand, but so I call it compulse a whole column. And so that means when you place this to a rear guard, whatever column it faces, you could counterblast 2, or it gets +3k on place first, counterblast 2, and return all of your opponent's rear guards in the same column back to the hand, and they discard 2 cards. So basically, it's best use when they have a column, send it back to their hand, and they can't guard with those two because Kujikiricongo. So that's another piece that you need to see to make them discard cards and clear their board. As you can see, the more you clear their board, the more live the crow is, because they compose their cards back to their hand, and they still have to discard 5. So if there's only one card on the board, bring it back to their hand and you make them net or ditch 4. So it's really strong, or ditch the 5 still, as long as one is sent back from the hand to from the field. The next grade 2 I run 3 of is the, what is this, Samatsu? I was Stealth Rogue, I don't even know. But anyways, when you play this, you get plus 3k to a unit of your choosing, and if it's a grade 3, you soul charge. Like I said, this is a deck that does require a little bit of soul because of the crow kill turn. So you just target a grade 3 on the board, it gets 3k. And at the end of the battle that this attacked, you could soul blast 1 and add this back to your hand. So you could continuously like pump a card and then, you know, soul charge. I mean, you still soul blast, add it back, but if you choose not to, you just at least get a soul charge out of it. It's only an 8k base, which sucks about it, so I don't recommend really running 4 of it. I've been thinking of it though, because it does soul charge you, but it gives you the power, so it makes a better number in some columns. So 3 of this one, the Monetary Stealth Rogue Sumasa. Right. And that's it for the grade 2s. Now we have the grade 1s. This one is the Stealth Rogue of the Night, Sakurafukabiki. Oh my gosh, I can't pronounce these names. Anyway, so this one, what it does is when you place it, you discard a card, and this unit gets plus 3k. And to end of turn, if there are 1 or less damage in your damage zone face up, you get to counter charge 1, and you draw a card. So this deck has a counter charge engine, which is really good. You just, you know, like I said, the grade 2, for example, it counter blasts 2, so you kind of go through your counter blast pretty quickly. Your Vanguard counter blasts 1 to make them discard a card, and it's really nice that you get to counter charge in this deck. So you run 4 of this one. Next grade 1 I run are the 4 Fuki, the Tempest Stealth Rogue Fuki. Reason being, 15k attack or 14k booster or attacker, as long as your opponent's rear guard return to hand. Like I said, a lot of these cards compose back to the hand, like the Raven or the next card I'm going to show you right now, or the grade 2. So this one makes them 14k, so numbers. And finally, this grade 1, which is the Dreadmaster. I personally feel like this is the best one. Reason being, you place it, you discard a card from your hand, you draw a card. On top of that, you make them choose a card to compose back to their hand, and or you soul blast 1, make them choose 1 to return to their hand, and then discard another card. Like I said, this makes Kujikiricongo even more live, forcing them to guard awkwardly because you force them to return back a 2, a 1, maybe even a 3, clear their board, why not? But it's really strong of a card also, because you would play these first, and then before you would go into the Ravencrow, so you clear the board even quicker, so less cards would be sent back to their hand, and the destruction of 5 cards from their hand is really strong. So my trigger lineup now, we're up to the zeros, are 4 heal, 7 draw, I'm explaining this in a little bit, and 5 crits, okay? So 7 draw. Reason why I choose 7 draw for this build, honestly, you could run 8, but 7 draw, so you could see your pieces quicker, okay? You have the protection, you're messing up their hand already with destruction and discarding, and it's just, you make it to be a really awkward position, okay? So they if you do it correctly, they won't have a hand to guard anyways. So with that being said, you would like to at least, your hand's gonna be twice as big as theirs anyways, and you could guard everything they throw at you, and you just continuously just break their hand apart because, you know, you draw your pieces. So that's really big. And I still run the crits, at least 5, because I want to have the crit pressure. You know, I was playtesting this a couple rounds already, and I would go into turns where like, okay, I disrupt their hand so bad that they end up with no cards in their hand, and like I realized I still need to trigger a crit at least to push them over the edge, you know? And when you get the combo off correctly, it really does get them to that position, which is really good. And all of this, with this being said, is all budget. Like, the only expensive card that I believe that this deck that I'm showing you guys is the card that Magatu's Gale would be the only expensive card in the whole deck. And this, like I said, is no more than $30. $30 is probably even really high for it. You probably could find this for 20. A bunch of pieces in the new Miyaji set. But there are two variants of this deck, as I mentioned earlier. There's this variant and the Magatu Storm variant. Don't get me wrong, it's still Protect's still good. So if you choose to run the other one, but the difference is this one, like I said, is hand destruction, so it's a cuter gimmick. And on top of that, like I said, none of these are no more than a triple R, double R, so it's really easy to acquire. And yeah, I mean, it's a budget deck for your convenience, just something I threw together. So if you guys wanted to try and check it out and try it out yourselves, it's really fun. Like, I'm gonna be showing you guys a couple videos coming along the week. I'll play testing with the boys and girls or whoever. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say about it. I mean, it's just a bunch of cards that mess up board and make you discard, guard awkwardly. And yeah, there is a kill turn chance you could neg your opponent up to 8-9 cards if you do it correctly. But yeah, so is my deck profile for you guys today. So if you enjoyed, please do hit the subscribe button and that like, and we'll come back to you guys with more vids. Thank you.